Okay. Just trying to look good on camera. Okay. Okay. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. This is Andrew with the We Are Rizin podcast. I am joined by one of our favorite guests, one of my favorite guests, a kind of an unofficial Japanese correspondent, Mike from Ohio. How's it going, Mr. Mike?
What's going on, Andrew? Thanks for having me again.
No problem. Fresh off your trip from Japan.
Yeah.
Your first Rizin show in person, and then your second Rizin show, Rizin Landmark, being live on Abima for you. I'm curious to know, what was I don't know if you ever watched anything through Abima. What was
It was actually
Abima?
Rizin Live.
Oh, it was Rizin Live. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. How was your Rizin Live experience of Rizin
It honestly
Landmark?
worked really good. It was like the first show that I did with you guys, 37, when I ordered through Rizin Live. It worked perfectly.
Well, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, we were supposed to go. Fiance got sick. You know, it sucks, but you know what? Things happen.
How was the Japanese commentary, if I may ask?
I really, to be honest, was not paying much attention to it. I was just watching the fights.
I guess that's kind of good. I guess it's kind of good in a way.
My Japanese is not on that level yet.
Yeah, well, I've always said this about the Japanese commentary. Japanese commentary is not so much understanding it, but you don't know what they're saying, but you like what they're saying, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Because I don't know what the commentary was for the Fight TV version. I do.
Take a guess, Mike, how the commentary is.
I'm guessing it was pretty bad, even though Elliot and Damian Brown are pretty good, from what I remember.
It's not that they're not bad at all. Neither is Joe Farrar, in my opinion, but it's a production problem. That's the issue.
Yeah, now is that on Fight TV's part or is it Rizin?
I mean, it's kind of both. It's Rizin for not bringing them over when they can, and it's Fight TV's fault because there's been clearly a downgrade in quality ever since Fight TV became like a almost a subscription service at this point. With their Fight Plus thing.
For that, you can thank Triller for that.
Oh yeah, no doubt, you can thank Triller for that. But the quality, even from when they started having English commentary again, they came back on Fight. It's gotten worse. I can't remember. Even when they were on Live Now, and then remember when they were on Live Now, remember that, and then with the whole Fight thing, and then when they came back to Fight, no, it's been pretty awful, embarrassingly awful.
I'm just happy hey, at least it's affordable compared to the Japanese part of it, which is $37, I believe it was, day of.
Yeah, just want to give a shout out to Focus Fights, ran by our good bud Christian Gary. They're doing. I think they just recorded their recap of the show with Jay Wolf. I don't know if anybody else was on the show, but I definitely know Jay Wolf on the show, and so you should be looking out for that when that gets uploaded. Fight TV and he says also Fight TV commentary was very Aussie, very true, and the production issue hampered it entirely. There needs to be more on site. There's got to be on site altogether, but this is a fight. This is something that will never be solved. I don't know, because if it hasn't been solved now, it will never be solved. I don't know. I don't care. We just have to kind of put up with it. And I would rather, there be no commentary than bad production quality commentary, but that's just me.
I don't mind the commentary, but I get what you're saying. They should fly them in live, and they probably feel it's probably not worth doing it, so why bother? But
yeah,
that's kind of stupid.
Well, it's also kind of what is it a perception issue? If you're the number 1-2 promotion internationally, listen, why are you doing? Because listen, Bellator is going out of business, and they weren't even close to number 2 in my opinion. Rizin was always number 2, especially based on what they drew. It's perception wise, it's not. It makes them look unnecessarily low grade.
They do. I mean, at time, it's weird. Production, they don't care about commentary, but their production is top notch. It's very weird.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But they're doing great domestically. They're doing fantastic domestically. So, who am I to
Yeah,
tell them what to
and
spend their
they're
money on?
trying to build internationally. That's going to take time because it takes a long time to undo damage like that.
Yeah, let's move on to the show, Rise of Landmark 6, to me, unnecessary show. I don't like it when shows are so, unless it's like a New Year's Eve show, it's like so close together, this being a week apart. I didn't watch it live. I had no energy to, I watched some of it live, but not the rest of it live. I dreaded when I saw that 6 hour time limits or runtime on fights.
Mhm.
Overall thoughts, Mike?
I'm probably in the minority here. I thought it was a solid show, but yes, it did drag. Too many decisions. Some of the fights were just ridiculously boring. Some really questionable decisions as well. We can get into that a little bit more. And I don't know what the attendance was. It wasn't sold out by any means,
It
but
was
it
definitely
didn't.
not.
It did
It was
what?
definitely nowhere near sold out. I would even. They call them like super vacancy, no super no vacancy,
Yeah.
vacancy. I forgot how they do it, but this was definitely no super no vacancy.
No, but I thought it looked like a decent crowd, like maybe six-ish, 6,500 for the quality of this card. I think that was probably better than you can expect. But
Mhm.
that being said, they should be striving for better.
Josh Rubin says War Vugar Karamov. I guess this would be a good opportunity for you, Mike, if you want to get that Vugar Karamov thing on screen to show off.
It's just some random thing that I got in Saitama. So, hey, oh crap, I'm a fan. So, yeah, it was three. It was like $3. Big, it totally worth it.
And yeah, no, of course, Vugar champion, deservedly so. Anyway, I didn't see the first three fights because they've entered the ether of the void of the internet because they cannot because Rizin when they do their shows live, you can't rewatch them. Any thoughts, Mike, on those three prelims?
Honestly, I already forgot him.
Good. Moving on. Let's talk about the main event. Yamaniha beating Tokoro. Thoughts?
I thought it was a good fight, and I thought Takoro should have got the decision. I thought he outgrappled Yamaniha enough to where he should have won. But he didn't get the decision. Pretty simple. But he looked tremendous for a 46-year-old.
Should he retire?
I think he should, but he probably won't.
You're probably right.
Like, I mean, if you can still get paid to do this, well, I guess why not?
Yeah. I think that Yamanihi just beat him soundly. Listen, if Tokoro's out grappling him, that's fine, but you can't just judge on grappling. Tokoro heats them up. I mean, slowly but surely. This will not enter my fight of the year category. Yeah, this is a case of where I don't think Tokoro looked good in this. Obviously, I don't really think he looked good in the fight, and I don't think that Yamaniha looked good in defeating him. Yeah.
I thought Takoro looked decent, so we'll agree to disagree on that one. I'll say this: Yamaniha didn't impress me though, and I do think if he fought someone younger and more spry than Takoro, he'd get beat decisively.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know what path to victory for Tokoro there is for any other fight for him other than, yeah, I don't know.
I know I can think of two:
Which ones?
Ryusei Yashizawa and Kozi.
I guess that's fair, but I don't think those are going to happen.
No,
Would
but
they?
you knowing Rizen's matchmaking,
That's true. That's true. I know that our buddy King Silo, he comes out with his what you call it, his own rankings that he does. And also Focus Fight says, honestly, I already forgot him. Should be everybody's mood when it comes to arriving prelims. Absolutely. I don't know. What do you think for Yamaniha? Joji Goto got that win. What do you think?
book that next. I would book that next. to be
Yeah.
honest. I
You know,
think
it's so
that's a good
funny.
I think it's a good test for Goto.
I think Yamaniha is so funny being that he's from that bonsai gym. Like his grappling is maybe, I shouldn't say subpar, but not the level you would think somebody from that gym should be. But it
Yeah.
would, yes, I think that's an interesting stylistic fight.
It is. And I also think if since we brought up Joji Goto, I thought Joji Goto looked like a star, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the
Like
first
that.
time, that was the first time Junior Hibino has ever been finished.
Yeah. And the fact they did with another twister is pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I would say so. Here's my big bold prediction. I don't think I think Kai Izakura is gonna break his hand before the New Year's Eve show. My guess is that they would put Yamaniha against Archuleta if that happened, but I would much rather see Joji Goto get that.
I don't think they would put not Yamaniha anywhere near a title shot.
I don't know who else they could. I mean, if Kai gets injured is what I'm saying.
I could see them going with Matoya again, just as he'd be better than Yamaniha. Particularly if Matoya wins in deep against Koro.
Well, when's he fighting Koro again? Do you know?
Sometime in November.
The thing you risk with that is because the New Year's Eve show might be too close to that show, especially depending on if Motoya gets injured.
Right, but if he gets a title shot and he's still relatively in good health, he would do it, you would think.
If he gets beat up pretty bad, he may not. That's almost too risky. I see what you're saying, but I would, I don't know. It's very tough. It's very tough to. I would not be opposed to it, but I would see it as not likely happening. Unless not Koro, Matoya
How
gets
about
like
Shoko Sato?
That's possible. I mean, after one fight, even though so I mean, I might as well just talk about that fight, since we're already there. Sato, beat, Ota, split decision. Don't think it was a split decision, but I think we realized, I think we've come to realize, I don't know if they hire the same judges all the time for the show, from the JMOC for these shows, but it was quite clear there was someone on here on this judging thing who thought wrestlers win all the time if they just wrestle and do nothing. And that was pretty evident in this match. But listen, Sato got a win on a week's notice, so I can't fault the guy. I mean, I thought he won pretty easily. Ota did nothing with that grappling. He just held him up against the cage and did nothing. That's not grappling. That's just holding somebody. You're at most you're controlling. And at the very, and that's the most I can say for somebody like that. Your thoughts, Mike?
I thought it was a close fight. Initially, I thought Ota won, but the more I thought about it, I would give Sato the edge just because of damage.
No,
so
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely damage. Kobe Day says, no, Coral ain't beating up anybody. Hey, listen, he's undefeated in Rizin, so listen, he's coming. He's making that comeback. He's got the power of Seika with him. And Folks Fight says Goto's a star in the making for pulling off two back-to-back finish twisters. Yeah, it's an impressive win, but I don't think it's a win that you can shoehorn somebody with a title shot in. If you're going by rankings and how somebody wins, if for some reason, if Kai does get injured, I don't know, Kobe Dave, you're still in the chat. I think you have your rankings. Where did you rank Yamaniha? Where did you put Yamaniha after the 6 show? I'm just only thinking because the likelihood that Kai gets injured is very high. And I'm just thinking between Goto and Yamaniha, I think if you're going by rankings, Yamaniha probably gets that title shot. I would not go for it. I think that you can't really do Sato. It would be interesting, but I don't think it can happen. I think he has to get at least 2 or 3 more wins for this. For that.
But if it's short notice and they need a credible opponent for Archuleta Sato to me is a much more credible opponent than Yamaniha is.
Oh, I can't disagree with that. I honestly can't disagree with that, but I don't know, would Rizin want to do that? I mean, so I'll ask you, Mike, Ota. Here's what I'm gonna say. After Ren Hiramoto shit talked him, I would rather see that fight.
I
You
would
might
not book,
disagree.
I would book Mikura Sakura, Ren Hiramoto.
I know.
But I wouldn't be opposed to that. If we're looking for next steps with Ota, why not book him against Yamaniha if Kai stays healthy?
Ota versus Yamaniha. Jesus. I don't know. That would. I think that I would still try to run back Ota and Inoue.
How about Inoue versus Shoko Sato?
No, I would really only like to, because Inoue would probably be the best submission guy in 135. And putting up him against Ota would be interesting to see if were the grappling and the wrestling still how that works out. I still think I still think it stylistically that's a very interesting fight.
Where would Taichi Nakajima factor into this?
Well, I guess whatever his pancreas obligations. I thought listen, Nakajima looked fucking amazing at 44 against Okada. I think he looked great everywhere. What would you do with Nakajima? That's a good question. I don't know. He's I don't know, because the other thing that I wonder is is he gonna go back to 145 at one point? Do you think he'll go back to 145 or you think he's gonna stick at
But he
135?
looks so good at 135. Why would you?
But it's so funny that he's gotten like major wins at 145. It's not like Rugar destroyed him in at his one opportunity at 145. He's legitimately he beat Poirier at 145. I think he and Kobayashi fought, I believe. I'm not 100%
Kobayashi?
sure. Isao Kobayashi, who's the
Oh,
current
Sal
champ.
Kobayashi.
I don't know, but I don't know how many times.
UFC or with one?
Sorry, what was that?
Is Isao with one? Or is he with
Oh no,
UFC?
he's pancreas. He was with Bellator. He got signed to Bellator. Now I don't know what's happening with that. So yeah. But I mean, I still think Ota. I think Ota in a way is still a very interesting fight stylistically. That would be a fight I would still be interested in seeing, despite what happened to Ota in this fight.
I would give Ota someone on New Year's Eve and have him fight Naoki sometime next year.
And the only problem is if Naoki is that he's kind of having a Kai thing. He's getting injured a lot. So I don't know. He's only about like 26 or something.
Yeah,
maybe even younger.
Really young.
And he's already getting these injuries that are very. It's not like he's breaking his hand all the time. He has back and knees tearing his meniscus. That's not good. That is not good for the poor guy. I feel bad that he's getting these I know it comes with the game, but yeah, that's not a good sign for your future career.
No,
in MMA.
he's immensely talented too.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next fight. I'm very curious to hear about what you think how Sadario looked against Dong Mon Lim.
I thought he should have finished him a lot earlier than he did. That's pretty much it. Pretty much went as expected. I give Lim a lot of credit for doing as good as he did on short notice. I would like to see him at 185, 170. I know Rizin doesn't have those divisions, but after hanging in there with a heavyweight like that, I do think he deserves another opportunity.
He fights at middleweight normally or 170 win?
I'm not sure, but either or, he needs to. He should be given another opportunity.
Okay, interesting. What and Focus Fight says he enjoyed Fat Ninja's first round submission finish as well, but it's hard to build a fighter when the division he's in, middleweight, doesn't exist in promotion. Is that a possibility, Mike? Fat Ninja versus Lim? Not saying that's the best fight outcome, but that might be the only fight outcome.
It might be. I think that's a possibility. I mean, who else do you, as they said, who else do you have? Honestly, outside of bringing in some ex Bellator guys, when the promotion goes under.
I don't think that's going to happen. If you look at how, and this is what was, I love you, Jay Wolf, but Rizin is an incredibly different promotion pre-pandemic versus post-pandemic. The amount of international fighters that used to be booked, if you look at what it used to be versus now, it is extremely less. It's much more picky. Yes, you got the jobbers that were brought in to lose to Jiri.
Janos Sukas.
Yeah. But it's the amount, it's a lot less. You're not getting in these random fighters that are from like Hungary or I say John Sukas, who's from Hungary, excuse me. You're not getting your Carl Albertsons anymore. You're not getting your Jiri Prochazkas anymore. You're not getting your Manel Capes anymore. This is no longer this is not their focus anymore. They have become a domestic Japanese promotion that just books occasional foreign fighters. Now, they'll probably, they might sign or book a few fighters from Bellator. I don't see that. Well, first of all, what's his name? Derek Brunson, who just got signed to PFL. So he's no longer an option. I know that was suggested. Maybe bring Derek Brunson to Rizin for 185, but obviously that's not a thing anymore. Most of those higher weight guys will go to UFC, maybe go to UFC, or maybe PFL, and then their local regionals, LFA, and all that stuff. I don't think Rizin is going to go big on signing a bunch of those middleweights and welterweights, in my opinion.
No, but they'll bring in a few here and there, I think, if they're serious.
If you remember, Rizin at one time brought in Falco Neto to fight Marco Souza, and that would never happen now. I guarantee you that would never happen now.
No.
What they might do is, and this is maybe what they'll do, if this Azerbaijan show is successful, I could see them doing that show if it's a regular thing as your higher weight class showcase, and then you bring your Fat Ninjas or your Limbs to there. But I don't think anymore. I don't think they're going to be focused on bringing those guys anymore, whether it's cost reasons or that's the direction they're going in. That's just what I believe.
I understand. I personally would sign a few of them, but as you said, they have to be very selective.
Now, I know Sidario, do you think he's UFC ready?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think a performance like this gives me a lot of hope right now. I still think he needs a couple of fights in Rizin.
Good luck. I saw that Deep just booked some Megaton fights. They got Harry Greach and I forgot the guy from TriStar Gym, and then Saints coming back. Saints coming back from Italy from his military excursion, and I forgot who Saints fighting. I mean, Sidario has only said he wants to face. I have a question. Do you try to rebook Sidario and Todd Duffy? Or
if not, you book him
Todd Duffy on the. Sorry, go ahead.
Either do that or book a rematch with Shibasai.
I don't think he wants to fight Japanese people anymore. I think he thinks
but you would think he'd want to avenge a loss.
Kobe Day says Falco job was brought in because he was training partners with Cape. I forgot they're both from Angola. I believe it was, and it was a negotiation tool to re-sign Kate. Well, here's the thing. I still don't think they would put Falco in that. They would now. They would give it tax. Then they maybe would. Then they clearly did. Now, I don't think so.
Yeah, they only
We
have
see a lot.
final.
We see a lot. There'd be a lot more Azerbaijani on the Japanese show. Instead, we get people like Mamedov. Um. So yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Focus Fights, Krish. Saint is fighting Tatsuya Mizuno, who remember won the Dream Grand Prix many years ago. So
But wait, the Dream Grand Prix, no, Gagar Musasi did.
or was he a fighter in it? Double check.
Yeah, it was Mizuno Musasi in the finals.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So then, finalists in the Dream Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm. He
Anyway.
beat Malvin Manoff.
Oh, yes. So sorry, Mike. Did you say you should redo, try to bring in Duffy again, or do you not trust him because he lost his passport, or has he got staph infection or whatever?
I don't know. If you want to book him for New Year's Eve, cool. If not, I'm sure you can find some other foreigner to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
What was it? Jake Collier just got released from UFC, and he's I think the whole thing was that he was a welterweight. He was fighting at heavyweight, if I remember correctly. I believe so. Yes, he used to be a welterweight, and he decided to pack on the pounds to go up to heavyweight.
Who's the heavyweight that moved down to, what was it, light heavyweight, middleweight? He just got knocked out. Dawkins?
Oh, Chris Dawkins. Yeah, but is he still with UFC?
I don't know, because I would have said maybe he would be an option.
I would go if Rizin smart. If they want to go with an international opponent, and that's not Todd Duffy, probably Jake Collier, because probably Dario has the best chance against him. But listen, the problem is that his whole thing is going to UFC. Let's be honest, he'll probably take any offer that UFC offers him. So once that contract comes, he's gone from Rizin. So it's kind of
not a big deal. Is he even that big of a draw for them at this point?
He's quite famous. I mean, he is a former sumo. I don't think he's Yokozuna, if I'm correct.
No, he wasn't. But I'm just saying, like, is he really that essential to Rizin?
The only fight that he must do before he leaves is fight his brother. That is the only fight that he must do. I don't care about Todd Duffy or Jake Collier. Truthfully, that's the one fight I want to see. Taka Kenshin versus Sudario. That's right. I don't care. Because
that's a good segue.
Yeah, you want to talk about Taka Kenshin and Kaiju Killer?
I thought that was a really good fight. I thought Taka Kenshin was going to knock Arado out at one point. I mean, he hurt him bad at the end of the first round.
Listen, the referee, if he had stopped it then, that would not have been a bad stoppage, I don't think. Nope. Because I mean, taking knees from that monster, it would be yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what happened. Yeah, the Taka Kenshin just kind of lost any sort of momentum that he had once the round went on. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, he's 0-3 now, Mike. What do you do? What do you do with a guy who's 0-3 and you were definitely trying to? He looks better. He looks better in this fight than he did in his other fights. Like, I have to at least give him credit there. But like, what do you do? What do you do in this case?
I don't know. That's a good question. Do you give him one more shot and give him an easy domestic opponent like Sego?
Is that an easy? You say it's easy, but this should have been easy for him. And clearly he knew the assignment. And I don't mean the J-Wolf Riverage. I just don't understand what happened with like
he lost. He didn't have enough stamina.
Yeah, I mean that's something I don't want to say you can't teach it. You just have to. I mean,
you have to want it.
You have to want it, and you also just. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot, man. This is one point. You know, sumo's not about cardio. It's not at all about cardio. And now, it's about what?
It's about the beef.
Yes, exactly. So now he has to potentially go in there with potentially 15 minutes and manage his cardio while also throwing, which also wastes cardio, and
Mhm.
defending, which also wastes cardio when you take hits. It's a dilemma, and I don't know what you do to help improve that. I'm not opposed to him
I-
not coming back.
yeah, I'm whatever. If he comes back, you give him an easy opponent. If he doesn't, if they release him, he's 0-3. He's not a serious fighter, in my opinion.
Again, Takakenji versus Sidario. That's the only fight to make. I don't know what else. Would be hilarious though if Takakenji beats Sidario if they ever fought. That'd be fucking hilarious. Um, Kaiju Killer. Kaiju Killer. Is he Rizin worthy, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he showed huge heart, and and the fans seemed to like him. So you know what? He's a little guy who can punch. So bring him. And it's not like Japan has many heavyweights anyway. So why not?
It's absurd that the guy is undefeated at this point in his career, and
Quality of opposition. Come on.
he does have a win over Ryuta Sakurai.
Yeah,
Everybody
who's
has
like
that.
50 years old.
I know, I know. Um, oh, he's also beat Sego. He also beat Sego many, many years ago. So, um, you know what's crazy? He was supposed to fight Will Chop. Remember him?
I do.
Fight was actually supposed to happen.
Grachan, right?
Yeah, Full Metal Dojo. Listen, yeah, listen. You know who? They had a little back and forth, kind of back
Who?
and forth. Rocky Martinez and Kaiju Killer. So I think that'd be a fun fight. They're both short heavyweights. They both
It would.
throw.
I think Rocky would beat him.
I don't know. I don't know. That's listen. You look at the Kaiju Killer. He silences all the haters. He silences
Yeah, I
or
mean, he is. I will say this: he can punch, and he's tough, and he's durable.
exactly. That's maybe all you need for rising heavyweights. At this point, until they build up the division. Who knows? Maybe New Year's Eve. Maybe it'll be Ryan Bader versus Kaiju Killer, which would be hilarious. And that's I would gladly welcome that. If
Honestly,
that's
I would book Kaiju Killer versus Shoma Shibasai.
I think that Showman Stevenson I would probably walk through him. I don't have that much confidence in Kaiju Killer being
That's
listen,
it's a
gonna
fighter.
he's gonna grapple him. You just know listen, Showman Stevenson is gonna grapple him and tap him out. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. But then who would you bring in for Kaiju Killer? Would you bring in Jimmy Ambrose?
Who?
Jimmy Ambrose.
Oh no. That was a one-time thing for Gangrel Ujima. I really think that Rocky Martinez should honestly I think that would be a fun fight in my personal opinion. Um we have a question from Falling Star. What do you feel when do you feel Ryzen could bite the bullet and stage a numbered card in a major US city? My personal thought is when they get 2 million YouTube subscribers when the serious consideration happens. Any thoughts on that, Mike? When do you feel that Ryzen will consider doing a numbered card in the US in a major city?
I would say Denver, like that same arena that one did. I think that's probably realistic, but that's not going to be for a few more years. Ryzen doesn't have enough of an international presence right now.
Well, here's the other thing as well. With Bellator probably going out of business, that
Yeah,
Hawaii show has become probably unlikely.
yeah,
And with their lack of focus on the US market as evident or internet English speaking market, I'll say, with evidence of how they do English commentary with fights and considering the amount of the lessening amount of foreigners for the most part that they bring over to them, over to Japan. I don't know if that's even a consideration anymore. I don't think they're
maybe
going to
not.
try to. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say maybe not, but I do think at some point they'll look into it. I do think they'll bring in more force, but that'll be more of a selective process. People who can contribute. They're not just going to bring in people for the sake of bringing people in. They need to have a
Yes,
purpose.
yes. I think I think gone are the days or like the lightweight Grand Prix when it had Damian Brown. I don't remember, was Darren Cruikshank in it?
No,
Okay, Damian Brown,
Patricio Pitbull.
Patricio Pitbull,
It was a
and
Patricio.
yeah, whichever one, I don't care at this point. And
Gustavo.
Gustavo was in it. Kawajiri, I think, was also in it, I
He
believe.
was.
Yes, in the opening. It's Johnny
Johnny
Case,
Case as well.
Tofik. That whole thing, that whole international Grand Prix is, I think, for the most part, it's mostly going to be Japanese Grand Prix at this point.
Maybe with a foreigner or two sprinkled in.
A foreigner or two sprinkled in, probably, potentially. But yeah, I don't see a US show happening anytime soon, unfortunately. I think, especially with Bellator going out of business, or I don't even know what it is at this point. But yeah, with Bellator likely not
Surviving.
Yeah, like not surviving is very unlikely going to happen. So wanted to go back. We're gonna back up a bit. Mike, Yuki Ito versus Top Noi. He's changed his name so often, I don't know what to call him at this point. But what do you think of this fight? What do you think of the
It sucked. It was two strikers being way too cautious.
Exactly.
They basically cancel each other out. I think I mentioned on the preview that I had a feeling that there was the possibility of that happening, worst case scenario. And unfortunately that happened. I thought Ito won the fight. I didn't think Top Noi did enough, but I didn't think either guy looked particularly good.
There have been times where I think when fighters do nothing or where it's there should be like an option, like a no contest. I hate like the idea of a must win. Oh, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off.
If there was a way to do a draw, I would have absolutely done a draw. But
a draw implies that I don't know. It implies that I think a draw is too nice, in my opinion.
If you have other option, then I'm all for it. But
a no contest.
Fair enough. But like I said, I do think Ito edged it out. I thought he was more aggressive than Top Noi. I don't understand what Top Noi was doing. I really don't.
Yeah. He's definitely not the same guy that he was when he first started Rizin, kind of just this wild striker, throwing elbows. No. And yeah, I don't know if he was semi-successful during that road to UFC, the first road to UFC, and then he got another chance and didn't win, unfortunately. He does seem to get a lot of this. At least to him, he feels like he wins these fights that he loses. I don't know what like the Nakamura fight he had in Rizin, that's the only one I can reference. Yeah, I think he won that based on damage alone. Because he knocked out Nakamura's teeth. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know I think Rizin will probably bring him back. He's kind of like a staple of a pre-pandemic Rizin, in my opinion. And I think he didn't, not that he fought bad, he just didn't fight enough, I guess. If that makes sense.
If you want to bring him back, cool. I'm indifferent to him at this point.
Because here's the thing, if you bring him back and he fights somebody like Hiroya, there's still the possibility that Hiroya could lose that fight. Yes. And I think Rizin would rather put him in a fight that he can win.
Hiroya. Why not put him in with Soya Takaki then?
That'd be a fun match. The only problem is Soya probably is gonna get sick or something's gonna happen to him. He's gonna get injured or I don't know what's gonna happen, but he's yeah, I have to kind of like wait for if he takes his long way off.
If he can, when he's healthy, why not have Ursin fight him?
Top Noi?
Yeah.
I think that because then Top Noi is going to get out wrestled, and I think that's what's going to happen for three or four rounds. City Life probably says, "Hell yeah, the boys are back, great show, fellas. Appreciate it, man. We'll one day do something together." And, this is the thing is that I think they actually should have done. I would have rather have done them Ursan versus Top Noi I don't know how which show was booked first or how they were doing it, but I really think that I think a lot of the booking could have been mitigated, or could have been done. I think personally a lot better in my opinion. Like I guess the one point top like could beat is Utaro Remoto Ban.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
Buntor. Bun, yeah,
I think Bosfor beats easily beats
right. But I'm saying Buntoran's another factor too at 125. So he's someone we need to consider
Gotcha. Yeah.
for Ito's next opponent.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Ito. Yeah, that'd be good. Man, you got so many great people at 125. That's the one thing I'll get. For all the criticisms of Rizin, I gotta say they've got a lot of great 125ers from deep, from everywhere. So I don't know what your thoughts. You like the 125 division, Mike?
I like 135. I like 125, 135, and 145. I think they're all deep divisions. And 155 with the addition of Poirier, I think makes it deeper. I really do like the 4 divisions in Rizin that they're focusing on, mostly on the men's side of it. I do think that Yugi Ito should be given a big fight on New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
I think he's ready.
So unfortunately, him and Ryuya Fukuda already fought in deep.
In the
But
tournament.
would you do that again for a New Year's Eve show?
I thought about that, honestly.
Bigger stage, it's a ring.
Yeah.
It could be, it could be a different outcome. It
It
really
could.
could.
Well, if how about book Ito versus the winner of Mamadov against Mamadov and Scoggins, right?
Sure. I think Scoggins gonna win that easily. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I think that's possible. I think Ito though should get somebody who's a little bit higher up though. He's
Would you
already. Sorry,
then
go
would you
ahead.
give him Ramazan Temirov?
That would be a good fight. That would be a good fight. Um, hmm. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I wouldn't even be a let's see. So I'm just going through my head right now. I wish I had King Silo's list right in front of me. That's a tough one. That's a good. I don't know. I don't know. Ramazan Talbot. Variety doesn't have any major headaches from this fight. So yeah, I mean that could be a good fight. But personally, I think for New Year's Eve, I think they're gonna probably book Dodson. I think they're gonna go with a bigger name for New Year's Eve. And of course,
Dotson
I think Horiguchi and Shinryu as well, probably.
for the feather for the flyweight for a Rizin flyweight title.
Rebranded from the Bellator title, probably. Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong though.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't. Who knows what's going to happen with Bellator at this point?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm trying to get through their show. And I say trying to get through their show.
Well, oh, you mean the last one from yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, I just got the yeah. Yeah, I got King Seal tagging me in the whatchamacallit.
Discord chat?
Yeah, yeah. If you're here, King Silo, try to tag me in the 125er because we can definitely talk about that later. Anyway, let's quickly go on to Genji Umeno, Yuto Sato. I have nothing to say about this fight because I can't remember a goddamn thing. All I remember is that the entrance was the Genji Umeno seemed confused. He seemed
Yeah,
lost.
that's his gimmick now with Yavai and those rappers. It was
Good,
kind of
wonderful.
I enjoyed it actually.
That was the most enjoyable thing about this fight.
It
Anyway,
was.
don't care. Anything to say, Mike?
I would prefer not to see Yuto Saito again. He's a crush job. He's a crush preliminary guy for a reason. You saw that. Genji Umeno is better than this. So yeah, that's really all I can say. Although there is one thing I remember about this fight. There was a lot of restarts.
Yes. Yes. That's what you get with kickboxing. Anyway, nothing to say anything about this fight. I don't care. Genji Omega will be back. I don't think he should be, but whatever. Nakamura Hiroya. This fight was great. This fight was
It
awesome.
was.
Love this
This
fight.
was fight of the night, and I thought the wrong guy got the decision.
That's a tough one. Listen, the meme, you know that meme that from Breaking Bad, he can't keep getting away with this. Nakamura somehow keeps getting away with it. He's become the Benson Henderson of Rizin, where he's winning these split decisions that may or may not be in his favor.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if they did a rematch, I would not be opposed, but it's likely not going to happen. What do you think about Hiroya, though? I think he's quite clearly the best guy to come out of this whole breaking down blah 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 thing. I think he clearly is a good fighter. I don't listen. It seems to be he just gets the wrong edge of the judge's wrong of the judge's decision. I think he's immensely popular. He's definitely going to come back. King Steel, thank you for tagging me. So let's see. Here are some names for 125. Kyoji Horiguchi, Shinryu, Dodson, Ogi Kubo, Temarov, Scoggins, Fontarin, Fukuda, Saomoto, Ito, Taknoi, Soya, Yuto Uda, Muramoto, Nakamura, Yamamoto, Mamadov, Kitakata, Hiroya, and Junya Hubino. But I think he fought the feather bantamweight.
He fought at Bantam.
Yeah. Maybe he's a 125 as well, but I don't know that. Maybe in deep. So yeah, who would you think would be a good matchup for Hiroya that he can get that win?
How about Yutaro Muramoto?
I think he could beat. I would give him a much better chance to win that. He's still going up against a veteran, and the veteran skills of Muramoto could potentially win out. Same thing with Kitakata, even though these guys are strawweights.
Yeah, I was going to say Kitakata would have been my second choice.
It's kind, but again, their veteran mentality could still edge out a win potentially.
Yeah, but I do think I agree with you. Despite his 8-12-1 record, Hiroya is clearly a better fighter than that.
I think he's definitely the best fighter out of the Mikuru camp.
I don't agree with that. I don't think he's the best one. I would say it's Shirakawa.
His fight at 44 didn't impress me a lot.
See, I thought it was fine. I mean, I think we went over that, but I thought he had his moments against Nakahara, but I mean, Nishitani to me is better than a 500 record. But
yes. Yeah. What about Nakamura? He will be brought back, I probably think, for a Osaka card, I'm guessing.
Yes.
What do you think about this guy? I mean, this guy was getting knocked out silly only a few years ago, and now is beating people like Soya and then Hiroya. Are we seeing it come back, or is he just getting lucky?
Combination of both, I think. I'm not sure what you do with him, to be honest, because he still has a weak chin. He does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who you book him with, to be honest.
Well, I would say, well, he's already fought Topnoy. I don't think they would do that rematch.
No.
I would say, so I presume that Scoggins is going to beat Mamadov at Azerbaijan. I think a fair fight would be between Scoggins and Nakamura.
That could work.
Likely that, I mean, listen, who the fuck knows? If Mamadov wins, then this is whatever, because he's already beat Nakamura, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I'm looking at that, looking at the list, and I'm like,
how about booking with Tatsuki Saomoto? Oh no, Saomoto already beat him. Never mind.
Yes. I think that was the first person that Saomoto finished in a long time. And,
it was that left hand it was that overhand left.
What about Bontorin?
Yeah, I could see Bontorin would run through him.
Listen, unless you have somebody who can run through him, that's what's gonna Nakamura is gonna take over this division somehow, and we'll be soon talking about a Shinryu or Horiguchi, whoever's champion match against Nakamura, which would be hilarious. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but listen, it's starting to go. It's starting to go that route, maybe.
Oh boy.
Following starts the question: what do you feel about this idea? Do you feel Rizin is now in position to go to the next level, leave fight and go to zone? No, they should not go to zone. Zone it. I don't know where you are, Falling Star, but the zone in the United States is insanely expensive. They have nothing. It's
Boxing.
yeah, they have boxing, they have dart throwing, and bowling. There's a reason why the big boxing things. I think Canelo's no longer on there, right?
No, he's not. He's with PBC now.
The zone had their opportunity to be the premier place for all combat sports. Pandemic ruined that. They upped their price, and then you had to pay extra for the Canelo things. They are not worth the money. I actually probably would stop watching Rizin altogether if they went on the zone. It would not be worth it. How much do they charge? It's like $19.99 or $29.99 a month.
I managed to get it like I don't remember the specifics of it, but I think I'm paying like 16 a month, 17, something like that.
K1
for a boxing fan like me and my brother, it's worth it. But if you're not, it's not at all.
K1 not going on the zone was the best thing, and I'm really happy they did not go on the zone. Really, really happy.
Do we know if that's actually if that was just a temporary snag or that
I have no idea what happened with that whole thing. There's theories. There's theories. That's all I can say. I don't even know. I wish I knew, but I don't.
Then there's another issue with the zone. The service is like the service is garbage. There's too much. There's too much buffering. It's not smooth, etc. It's just not a good product.
Falling Star also asked, what about this idea? What if Rizin teams up with a major boxing promotion like Top Rank or Matchroom to do exhibition fights? Barbara and West Fury do the WWE circuses for the right price. I would prefer not. If I don't like this exhibition boxing stuff. It has not been the Floyd Mayweather tension thing was the exception, and it worked then. Maybe Mikaru worked, but I don't see. I don't think this Pacquiao thing's happening anymore. He's in a lawsuit now, so I don't see how he can even do it if he's in a lawsuit. But I think the whole thing is about money with his manager or something. I don't know. I don't care. I really don't want them. The only thing I could actually see them realistically doing is maybe still working with tension on some boxing thing. Maybe. But I don't even know if that's likely.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. I don't want to work with Bob Arum. I really don't.
He's moved on. Tension's moved on.
Yes. Yes.
So
Naoya Inoue is in his sights. That's the fight that's going to be down the line if things go right. I guarantee it.
I don't think so because Inoue is going to be interested in other things.
No, listen, that fight would be a big fight domestically.
I know it would be a big fight domestically, but I'm not sure Inoue's built like that. I think he wants more.
Oh, probably does, but listen, we never thought that K1 and Rise Taku tension would ever happen. So
I mean, the thing about Inoue is he's gonna become a 2-division undisputed champion.
Yeah, and once tension gets to those heights, presumably, then maybe a undisputed thing between the two Japanese greats.
I'd like to see is tension versus Takei in boxing.
Yeah, but that won't be as big. I guarantee. Listen, I think the long term is maybe as long as tension's successful, not Inoue versus tension. I think that's what the Japanese market will be hunting for. Kobe Day says K1 Rebirth 2 Osaka December presser this weekend. That's good. I'm happy to see that K1's back and kicking. Quickly, Mike, Igor Tanabe, Fat Ninja, beating Animal Koji. Any thoughts? Because I think this fight lasted longer than we predicted.
It did. I mean, I thought it was a fun little fight. I mean, I'm happy that Igor is getting more experience. I think he has a lot of potential. I mean, he didn't get caught nearly as I recall in the fight. He didn't get caught on this nearly as bad as he did against Abe. So I think he's learned to be a little. I think his defense has improved a little bit, but it was just basically a stay busy fight.
Yep. I mean, the only fight I could think of for Mr. Fat Ninja is him versus Marco Souza.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I don't know if he's still fighting though, because I thought he retired. Also I saw him.
I will say.
Yep.
No, I was going to say, was Animal Koji? Is he still with K1 with the K1 group?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, because with Yuto Aito, he's with K1. So if that's the case, the loaning of letting their fighters fight in other promotions, that's a good sign.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Fat Ninja versus Marco Souza, maybe, but also Marco Souza looked kind of he didn't look anywhere near middleweight last time I saw a picture of him. So who knows? No. You know, that's the only fight I can think of. Or
they'll
against
figure
Kim.
Something out.
Against Kim.
They'll figure something out. They always do for that.
Machi versus Ayaka Watanabe. Machi won by split decisions. Your thoughts on this fight, Mike? Because I was really looking forward to this match.
I was looking forward to it too. I was bored. I was really bored with this fight.
I mean, I wasn't as bored. I was kind of disappointed there was no clear winner. It was I mean, listen, Machi obviously won in the wrestling department, the grappling department, but I think that Ayaka clearly outstruck her and did more damage.
Yeah, she did. I thought Ayaka won the fight.
I would not be opposed if they did another rematch, but Machi's already fighting the next Deep Jewel show.
Yeah,
that tells you how much Deep Jewels is behind her. That they're like, we need you back. I don't know when Ayaka's fighting next. I have no idea about a strawweight division if they're going to seriously do it in Rizin. What do you think? Do you think they can do a strawweight division with talent in Japan?
I think there's plenty of strawweight, good strawweight women fighters in Japan. So I feel it's definitely between Deep, Pancrase, Shudo, there's talent there. So yeah, I do.
Do you think Ayaka needs to get a win in Pancrase again before she comes back?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, was it Pancrase or Shuto? I forgot. Shuto, sorry. Shuto before she comes back to Rizin.
Yes, 100%. But I do see the potential with her.
Do you see the potential? Sorry, go ahead.
You see it with Machi too.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It kind of sucks. Yeah, that's the one thing. I wish there was a definitive winner in this fight because this would have told us I thought that Ayaka won, like I said, but like obviously they went with Machi, and that's why I kind of wish there was a definitive winner,
or at least the ability to have declare a draw in this case.
Yeah,
because if
this isn't Mexico though. This is not Mexico though.
No, but I'm saying like if there was a way, I wouldn't have been opposed to it because it was evenly matched.
Yeah, I got you.
You can see the upside with these two.
Let's see. Okay, we talked a little bit about Bontorin and Muramoto. I mean, Bontorin basically destroyed him for 3 rounds. Nothing really more to say. I don't know. What do you think about Muramoto? He's not a capable flyweight, in my opinion. No. If it's strawweight, yeah, we can talk. I think he could pretty much do great in a strawweight division if Rizin ever did have one, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
Yeah, I think you just can't. He's beaten flyweights before in Rizin, but they are not high level flyweights. So I think
like BJ.
Sorry?
Or shot like BJ Kojima.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really not much that's any top 30, I'll say, flyweights beats him, in my opinion. I don't know if is that being generous? Or should I say top 50?
Top 30 sounds about right with Muramoto. I don't think he's a bad fighter. He's just too small for the weight class.
Exactly. Yeah. Falling
Like
Stars
Kitakata.
question. Yeah, same thing with Kitakata. Maybe they should both fight each other at flyweights. I mean, in Rizin. I don't know if they ever fought each
Honestly,
other.
I would
Yeah,
book.
they
I
have.
would
They
book-
already fought each other, and
yeah,
both lost.
honestly, I would look and see if a 115 division is viable. There's plenty of talent in Japan.
Oh, there is no international talent for that one at all. I can tell you that.
There's what?
There'll be very little international talent for that, so that's gonna be entirely a full Japanese division if you want. Falling Star says, who you want in the next John Dodson Rizin fight after his BKFC champion win? I think it's likely going to be Horiguchi or Shinryu. I think it would likely be well, hold on. So let's just presume that they do Horiguchi versus Shinryu at
It would be
Rizin.
Fukuda.
You think that Dodson versus Fukuda?
I think so. Deep Grand Prix winner.
I would not be opposed to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then beat Urson. I just think, regardless of if he was losing or not, the fact of the matter is he won the fight. So
Yeah.
that to me, that's the logical choice, unless you want to put him in with Temerov.
Would not be opposed to that. I think though, if you want to do Fukuda versus Dodson, it's kind of like an unofficial eliminator for the next challenger. I think that's the perfect way to go.
Yeah, and it adds something different to New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Victor Kolenskeg, Ryo Takagi. I mean, I don't know. I mean, were you disappointed of the that Takagi lost?
I was, and I was disappointed in his performance. I thought he was way too cautious.
Well, that's the thing. Kolenskeg, I mean, listen, you saw he can knock you out with leg kicks or beat you with leg kicks, I should say. But yeah, also Kolenskeg also had to worry about Takagi. He got a few good shots in that definitely rocked him.
He did. I just didn't think Takagi followed up well at all.
Yeah.
And Kolesnik is really boring. He really is.
I don't think he's boring, but he definitely has. He's a Russian, if I remember correctly. Listen, a lot of Russians, they will fight safe if a lot of times if the opponent has like a big strength that they have to like Takagi has great striking. He can knock you out, and so Kolesnik obviously picked his spots. I'm not opposed to like somebody fighting against somebody's strengths because you don't want to get knocked out, right? No. So, yeah, I definitely.
I'm just saying, as a consumer, I thought I wouldn't mind never seeing him again, but
I think they'll bring him back though. I think they're definitely going to bring him back. He's definitely actually I'm looking at Kolesnik's record, and he has a win over someone named Wanderson Silva, which that sounds like that sounds like one of those fake Fire Pro Wrestling type, or is that Fire Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they couldn't get the rights to Wanderlei Silva, so they're like, oh, we're gonna name this guy Wanderson Silva. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's gonna. I think that probably Kolesnik's gonna be their big Russian representative when it comes to having a Russian representative in fighting. I don't know if he's with Team Fedor.
No, I thought he trains out of Thailand.
They said that, but I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was a misinterpretation of him training in Thailand for this fight, or if he does.
Maybe I thought he was a part of Tiger Muay Thai, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
Okay. What about Ryo Takagi? What do you want to see happen with him next?
Get another win or so in Pancrase and then bring him back.
Okay. I think a fight that would be fun would be him versus Shirakawa. I think somebody gets knocked out in that fight.
I agree. I think Shirakawa would get knocked out, and I think that would be a good one for Takagi. I agree with you on that one.
But nonetheless, listen, the guy who's going to eventually take over this entire featherweight division is Suguru Nii. He's going to be the winner. He'll one day be Rizin champion, featherweight champion one day. Mark my words. Let me timestamp. Timestamp, yeah. If you want to do Nii versus Kolesnik, I think that'd be a fun fight because I think Nii wins that. I think he submits Kolesnik.
He wouldn't be as tentative as Takagi was. I can say that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Falling Star says it's sad that the no and more than likely we never get to see Usman in the Rizin ring with Bellator. on fire with Bellator on fire right now. I assume by Bellator on fire, you don't mean that it's hot right now because it is on fire, but in a different way. It's about maybe as in the red on fire as it can get.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's UFC bound.
yeah,
Sorry, go
interest is cold as AEW right now.
Yeah, but yeah, as soon as he wins the Bellator tournament, he's going to UFC. It's almost a foregone conclusion. And Yusaku Inoue making a comeback after so many years, defeating Kohei Takeshi, who announced his retirement from MMA, but not left away. So, what do you think about Inoue?
He looked good. I was surprised he beat Takeshi as quickly as he did. You would
I
think
was
there would be
too.
you would think there was ring rust, but there wasn't shit.
Yeah, I mean, Inoue knocks out people. It's always a possibility, but I just thought Takeshi would be the one that strike first. But
Agreed.
yeah, Kohei Takeshi's no longer going to be in MMA. He said he's just going to focus on left away, if I remember correctly.
That sucks because I like him. He's fun to
Yeah,
watch.
you're right. He's fun to watch. Unfortunately, listen,
No
he
chin
doesn't
and
have,
slow.
yeah, well, he has a chin. He can weather the storm like he did in that kickboxing fight earlier this
Yeah,
year. So, but I mean, I think it's definitely probably, I don't know, maybe that fight is the reason why he got knocked out so easily in this one, because that fight definitely is the type of fight that takes years off you.
yeah, it does. But here's just a random thought: would Rizin be willing to use him in a left wave fight?
I don't think Rizin would ever do left leg fights. I don't think that's in their game. We don't. They used to kind of do like, oh, we're gonna do shootboxing, we're gonna do grappling. They kind of now just do only MMA and kickboxing at this point. I don't think they would ever do left leg fights. It'd be fun though. It'd be like Saitama seeing a left leg fight. That'd be cool, but I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna do that. Inoue, man, he said he wants to fight again, but he doesn't want to fight any of these Azerbaijanis. So, what do you think? Who would you put up against next?
How about Yusuke Yachi?
I think he beats Yachi.
Maybe, but it's a YouTuber versus a popular fighter who with a famous wife, right?
Yep. I don't even know what Yachi's status is with Rizin now. He doesn't have to fight anymore. Will we see him again? I don't know. That ship has sailed long ago. I was gonna say when he heals up, I would love to see him versus Juri Ohara.
True. That'd be interesting. I mean, Jiri Ohara needs a win after that Black Combat fiasco.
I don't know though how Jiri Ohara's leg got pretty destroyed with that Sulov stretch. So I don't know how long he's gonna have to be out. As far as I know, I don't think I've heard it's broken. Maybe he just it was just an injury thing at the time. Maybe he's doing a lot better, but I think that'd be a fun fight. Or you know what? I don't know if King Tsuyo's here, but if he is, you know what? Fuck it. Yusaku Inoue versus Kitaoka.
Oh God.
Um,
No comment.
the following star says, "What are the divisions you want Rizin to invest more in? Hold my hopes and dreams for heavyweight and welterweight. Not welterweight. I would really like to see a heavyweight. I really wouldn't lie, that'd be really cool because it used to have kind of like good heavyweight division. I think they kind of fallen behind on lightweights. I don't feel the lightweight division hasn't really felt as hot as it did since the Grand Prix and since Tofik left. I'd like to see a lot more come in because I don't know. Let's see. Satoshi's last fight was against Pitbull. He lost that fight.
On short notice.
Yeah, on short notice. Before that was the McKee fight, which was a pretty close fight. Or I think Johnny Case, he had the rematch with Johnny Case, which he also won. But I don't feel that I'm not as invested as I was since Tofik and Souza had their match. What do you think, Mike? What weight divisions do you want to see them in?
I would like to see them invest in women's and men's strawweight. I would
Kobe
also
did. So go ahead.
heavyweight,
So go
and
ahead, Mike.
then
Sorry.
lightweight. I see your point, and then heavyweight. But those
Uh,
four divisions, I think strawweight divisions for both male and female are viable.
Kobe Day says, I want them to invest in 155 through 125 plus women's 115 and 108. And he'd be fine with one-off heavyweight fights. I think you could do interesting stuff with heavyweights if they're willing to bring in more foreigners. I really do believe that. But if are they going to bring in more foreigners? I think the only if they were to invest in foreign heavyweights, it would invest in a foreign division. It would be for heavyweights, and it should be. I think.
Yeah, agreed. But I still contend that there's enough Japanese talent at 115 for the men that you could build something there.
Yeah. So, and for women's, I think 125 is good enough. I don't need to invest in that. I think that's pretty good for as long as Deep is operating. Women's 115 and 108. That's the other thing. I definitely feel like atom weights. I definitely feel atom weight is not as hot as it used to be. But also, I think that's also because I think Seikazawa is just so good. She's kind of just ran through everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like
she's higher in a few years anyway,
it's kind of like
she?
that. Yeah, it's kind of like that GSP run near the end of his career when the only fight that was like remotely interesting after his years and years of dominance was the Johnny Hendricks fights. So, and I guess you could say the Nick Diaz fight as well, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that I don't know. That's a problem. That's what Deep and all these other world promotions are for, is to help find people to fill these slots in things like atom weight. I don't know about 115. I don't think you can really have a plentiful division of that. I really don't think so. I don't think the high level talent is there yet where you can have real competitive fights. I think we kind of maybe just saw one of the most competitive fights between Machi and Ayaka, but then who else? There's really no one else I think that has me interested or invested to see on that rising level. Does that make sense?
Have Laura Fontoura move up.
Isn't she still pregnant? Or did she give birth yet? I don't know. I thought she was pregnant.
I was just thinking of random people.
I gotcha. I mean, listen, here's the thing. Pancras has their atom weight division tournament coming up. And it's got 4 great fighters in it, with Sarami, Mei Yamaguchi, Zenny, and I'm forgetting the other one. But that one, listen, you could bring in Zenny sometime, maybe Sarami.
You have Kana Sakura still there.
Yeah, I don't know. She hasn't been in a while. I don't know what. I wonder what's with her.
Didn't she beat Vivi May back in April?
Yeah, but I don't know like what she's not doing. She's like not done. Like I'm surprised that Rizin hasn't brought her back so quickly. See, that's the thing, that they'll bring back some fighters so quickly for a fight after a win, and then others you will not hear like for like a year or so. And I figured that someone like Papa Kana they would bring back, especially with that win she got over May. Oh yeah, Kobe Day has the foreigner stats. So before 2019, before COVID year, there was 61 foreign fighters and 62 MMA bouts. 2023, 45 foreign fighters and 80 MMA bouts. He didn't count the Bellator versus Rizin bout in a cage, and numbers are through landmark 7. Okay. So at least in 2019, they brought in more foreigners so far.
Do we even know Do we even know what the full card for the Azerbaijan show is yet?
Yeah, they just released it. I don't think they're going to add any more fights to that card. I don't think so.
I didn't see him on the Rizin site.
It's on Wikipedia. Actually, Tapology just updated it. Sorry, quickly, Mike. We talked a little bit about Joji Goto. What about his opponent, GJ Hibino? I still think a prospect to look at. To keep in mind. I like the little glow stick entrance.
Yeah, I just too much too soon.
Yeah, no, listen, this was the perfect, like kind of like prospect fights. I mean, let's see. I mean, Joji Goto, I mean, is he still a prospect at 16-6-1? Is that still considered a prospect? No.
No, he's a contender for sure.
Okay. You know what? If Junior Hibino, once he goes to the chiropractor, put him up against Trent Girdham, I think.
That would be a good fight. I mean, both of them need a win.
Yes, both of them need to win it. And I wish they had done Trent Girdham versus Genji Omeno again, but I'm kind of off Genji Omeno train. I really don't care anymore. But yeah, I think that'd be a good fight to make. Someone who's never won in Rizin versus someone who lost their debut in Rizin. I think that has a lot of good stakes. But Mike, any finish of the night? And you said your fight of the night.
Okay, finish of the night, Joji Goto against Hibino. Another twister, just awesome. Fight of the night was Yusaku Nakamura versus Hiroya.
Yep, I have to go with that as well. I have to go with Nakamura, Hiroya, and finish of the night. I'll say, you know what? Fuck it. I have to pick. Yep, Twister. Twister always wins, especially 2 in a row.
Yeah, just who was the last? Is he the first person to ever do that?
Back to back. Well, I know Wilson. Remember, Korean Zombie was the first person to ever do it in a major MMA promotion. But I'm trying to think. Back to back. I don't think so. I don't think it's ever been done back to back, as far as I know. If anybody knows in the chat, let me know. So right now, and I should have mentioned before, we have a little contest going on for Rizin merchandise. Giving away this Rizin shirt, if you can see. Anyway, we got 3 people who entered. Let me see if I can do a screen share. And we're gonna pick the winner right now because I want to get this thing out here because this has taken way too long to do. So let's see. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. It's extra large. If it doesn't fit you, shrink it down. I'd rather get an extra large rather than a too small. Anyway, let's see. Control enter the spin. That did not work. Let me try. Oh, here we go. Whoever lands on gets a shirt. Oh, it's Daniel. I didn't even know I was gonna do that. Okay, Daniel, you're the winner of this T-shirt. I will DM you on Twitter, and congratulations. Other than that, Mike, where can people reach you if you want people to reach you?
On the Discord server at Mike S, or at my email address, msold7@aol.com. As I've said before, I don't do social media. I don't that nonsense. Don't do Facebook or X.
Yeah. You can follow us on We Are Rizin Pod on Twitter. My personal is ABenja1. I write for MMAsucker.com. You can also follow my co-host Christian Gary, who does Focus Fights audio and video now, and also follow him at ChrisGary92. Let's see. Just a few quick things. Komei didn't account for Brazilian Japanese fighters. I think that's fair. If they're living in Japan, they're technically Japanese fighters in my opinion. He also says that the Azure card was only updated to their Azure Rizin Instagram page. So weird. I wonder if probably they're outsourcing the Rise that to maybe somebody in Azerbaijan. Maybe that's the only thing I can think of is that they're not controlling that social media. And Takaro Man 9091 says, do you think the fact that Sakaki Bar was at Bellator 300 shows he has interest in buying Bellator? Komei Day says Rizin doesn't have the capital. Exactly that. And it also would not be a good investment because it has no value. sorry, Bellator has no value. It's not a nice thing to say, but they really don't.
Hold on, can you repeat what they just repeat? What one
Sorry,
of
I'll
those
talk
comments?
fast. Do you think that Sakaki Bar was at Bellator 300 to show he has interest in buying Bellator?
Absolutely not.
Heck, Falling Star says, this is for Andrew. What is your dream interview for the show? My dream interview? I would say probably Mikuru, honestly, because I know I would get a lot of views for that. I honestly would. And we got Ren. If you look at the first interview of Ren, I think that's the most viewed interview on our channel. And I think Mikuru could probably outdo that. I think obviously English speaking fans would want to hear what Mikuru has to say. Because as far as I know, he's never done an English interview, as far as I know. And also, I think Japanese fans would tune in because it's Mikuru.
Mhm.
But it would be Mikuru because it would be a legitimately big interview because he also rarely ever does interviews. Anyway, yes, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back with something, maybe Rizin Azerbaijan, maybe whatever. Yeah, thank you again for joining us, Mike, and we'll be talking to you all later. And also join the Rizin Discord as well, please. We need more shit posting.